Thanksgiving Shinn Show, a Thanksgiving Shinn Show, a Thanksgiving Shinn Show. It's a Thanksgiving Shinn Show. Joining me
this time
is
with more shins.
with more shins for more of the fun and more of the anger, more of the wrath. Anyway, hey, it's a Thanksgiving Shinn Show. As you can hear, Uncle Guy is joining us from Denver. Thanks, Guy. Glad you're here.
Hello.
Yeah, you're there. Good. Fantastic. Sounding good. Daughter Sarah's joining us from Omaha. Thanks for joining us, Sarah.
You're welcome.
And son Nicholas in the sound booth with me.
Hi.
Yeah, very good. And wife Elsie also in the sound booth.
Hello.
Oh, very nice. Very nice.
Hello, Elsie.
So here we all are. This is admittedly the second take. The first take was just a disaster. I mean, that audio is best to be left alone forever.
The first take was organic, but
Isn't the
also
family...
it was an organic disaster,
This
organic
one is
catastrophe.
much more controlled, with forceful manhandling, pushing people to the microphone.
We'll release the organic portion as a special edition.
Agreed.
Outtakes.
The lost episodes.
Yeah, that's for the best.
We should have a lost tapes series going on.
I really should save that stuff instead of just discarding it then, shouldn't I?
Oh my
Yes.
God. Yes.
It's gold. It's gold. I'm just throwing away gold.
You like a rich person.
Right. Well, anyway, so let's just talk briefly about Thanksgiving. Guy, I understand you cooked a ham for Thanksgiving?
Correct.
Yes, and so why did you go with ham, if I might ask?
Turkey seems dry to me.
Oh, Elsie's got the answer to dry turkey. She really does. And the answer is...
What is
What
the
is
answer?
Cook it with bacon on it.
Ooh.
All the bacon
I like
fat
that-
cooks
I like
down
that
into
answer.
the turkey
That's
breast.
a good answer.
Well, yeah. I mean, the answer is to cook it with some species of ham, you see. In a sense.
Yeah, I didn't do a turkey either. Normally we do a turkey and a ham, but we only did a ham.
You only
Ham's
did a ham. You did a ham only as well.
Yeah.
So did you and Guy
And it was
coordinate on
delicious.
this, or did you decide this independently?
Independently.
It was an independent to a coincidence, if you will.
Right. Just two smart people deciding to do something smart on their own.
That's right.
All right. Very good. Well, it sounds like
Correct.
you all had a good Thanksgiving. Sorry Kyler wasn't with you, Guy, but you know what? My son was with me, and it was very good, I thought.
My son was
Awesome.
with me, and it
Well,
sucked, so you didn't
also,
miss
I
much.
made green bean casserole, too.
What's that about the 3-bean casserole?
I made green bean casserole as well.
Oh, I see. That sounds...
Yeah.
You made that.
Yeah, I made that and cornbread and corn. I made baked potatoes. I threw it all in the oven at the same time, so it was pretty easy.
I see. Well, that's quite a feast you made for yourself.
Yeah, I can, and I have.
You threw
and I
down.
still have 7.5 pounds of it left over.
Well, I'm sure you'll find a way to get rid of it.
Yeah,
That
like
is-
I said, Uncle Patrick's coming over tomorrow, so that should take care of it.
Yeah, that's gonna get rid of a lot of it. It will. You'll destroy at least 3 pounds of it that way. So, all right. So everybody had a good Thanksgiving. Is that fair to say?
Yeah.
Yes.
All right.
Although I was talking to my mother later that evening and lamenting that the worst part about not cooking a turkey is the fact that I don't have turkey meat the next day to make turkey sandwiches.
Oh, that is sad.
And I was sad about that.
Yeah,
If
that
you
is
would like
unfortunate.
turkey, we can send you turkey. We
Yeah.
can send all the turkey.
Did that through airport security.
Right. They don't mind like pounds of turkey if it's in a plastic bag taped to your body. They
Right.
They like that. We might do that.
I'm
We
just
might
lumpy,
tape a few
sir.
pounds of turkey onto your body going back to
Who,
you.
me?
Yeah.
No, I'm good.
All right. Well, no turkey then.
That's all right. I know he doesn't love me.
Yeah, not enough to get cavity searched by the TSA, I don't. Or by anyone, to be completely honest.
It's
But
not
it
just the
doesn't-
TSA
It
that I
doesn't
have a
just
problem
have to be the
cavity searching.
TSA with their hand inside me, but
In
anybody.
the true Thanksgiving tradition.
Right now, you know how the turkey feels.
Mhm.
Right. That's true. Now you know how the turkey feels. That's a good point.
Stuffed.
Right. As it were. All right. So a big week. Big week in the news. Glad everybody had a decent Thanksgiving. It was wonderful. Lots to be thankful for. But-
Wait, are we talking more on personal things before getting into current events?
I don't know. If you'll talk into the mic, maybe we can hear you.
Wow. Okay, so are we talking more about personal things before turning to current events?
Oh, that's better. Yes. So that's a good point. So does anybody have any big news since the last podcast?
I got 4 balls of yarn for 25% off. That was my big news.
Oh, that is big news.
Not really.
Like,
I don't,
so exciting.
I don't,
Big balls.
right, you got big balls. Well, that's fantastic. Of yarn.
I have some news. I'm attempting to purchase a property in Tennessee.
Really?
Oh.
No.
Yeah.
Is Sister Kiara helping with that endeavor?
Yes, she is. In fact, she's going to look at it for me next weekend. It's 10 acres in Deer Park, Tennessee. It's a pretty remote location. Kind of a cabin deal like your thing in Westcliff there.
Yeah. Yeah, I have a cabin in Colorado, middle of nowhere, hard to find. So this would also be similarly hard to find, I take it.
Yeah, it's in the middle of nowhere, and but it's pretty cool. It's 10 acres, surrounded by another 44 acres of woods. So I'm interested. I think and it's cheap. It's only $45,000. The house needs a little work, but I'm pretty handy. So maybe in coming years we'll have a place to go in Tennessee.
Is this
That
in the
sounds
greater
lovely.
Knoxville area?
It's an hour and 50 minutes outside of Knoxville.
Well, that sounds terrific. Well, I hope that works out for you. And to say that you're kind of handy is kind of like saying Genghis Khan was kind of a conqueror. You're
Right.
real handy.
I like the analogy.
And I will say this property should be less prone to natural disaster than the last property you were looking at in the Panhandle of Florida.
Agreed. Although I really did like that place, but I'm glad I didn't buy it because it ended up being under like 3 feet of water.
Well, then you
Instant buyer's remorse.
Instant buyer's remorse, indeed. Yes, you chose
You're telling
wisely.
me.
Chose wisely, indeed. All right, well, good. So you are looking at a property. Sarah got 4 balls of yarn, and Nick got a new suit for Black Friday. Black Friday suit. What'd you think of the suit?
It's great. Great suit. It was definitely a suit. I've seen a lot of suits, and that was definitely one of them.
So that he will be wearing at some point.
Very, very suit-like.
Yeah.
Very good. And
Is this the part? Is this the part where I reintroduce the whole fitness tracker thing, or are we just going to let that die?
No. So you're doing a fitness tracker thing. That's right. Could you share that with the crowd again? You've
With the
got,
fam?
Yeah, you've got 5
so-
people. You were going to do 4, but now it's 5. 6 is too many, but it's definitely going to be 5
It's
people.
not that 6 is too many. It's just that the 6th person wouldn't really make it a competition. I mean,
He would
all
make
right.
it a
You know what? He
slaughter.
could do. You should tell him he could do it if he wants, but he doesn't get to.
Win?
Yeah. He can win
There's
technically.
no prize for you, sir.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The prize
yeah,
for
I'm
you
not
is
doing
your
that.
inclusion in the whole thing that we're doing.
And a lifetime of health.
You're right.
Yeah, he's very young and hale. Like Sandy informed me that he walks his dog for 2 hours a day just for giggles. And I said, yeah, he can't participate.
Yeah. Well, he can.
That's already a level of fitness that I'm not going to achieve. So you're disqualified.
Yeah, Elsie has the same
Disqualified by
issue.
manner of automatically being better than me.
Elsie's got the same issue with this group that she has on her Fitbit. There's some dude who walks like 30,000 steps every 2 hours. And so,
Yeah, what the hell?
I mean, as a result, no one could ever win. Am I
Yeah.
exaggerating?
We
At
have
at that
competition like
point,
before,
You've
too.
got to be ejected from the group.
It's a
Like
classic
somebody's
case
going to have to
of
Sparta
bullshit.
kick him off the cliff.
Yeah.
So we bought yesterday. There was a sale on. So I did a lot of research on the best way to do that. This all came about because Joe Rogan and his merry band of miscreants did a fitness challenge in October, and they had these chest strap things that converted their heart rates to points, and they made it a huge competition. So we all listened to that and said, you know what? Let's do it. So Murphy and I have been dieting since January and have decided to take the next step in our relationship with food, which is I would like to eat some more of it. So fitness is the next thing. And we roped Nicholas and Murphy's brother-in-law, Bubba, into it because they're suckers. And we decided that the best way to do it is to have a heart rate monitor with like a chest strap thing. And so yesterday, I was going to go with a cheaper brand, but yesterday the more expensive brand was on sale. So I bought them.
Wow.
And they are arriving Monday.
And so these are chest straps?
Yes, the Polar H10 chest strap,
That's a
which has 30 hours of memory, some 400 hours of battery. It takes like a watch battery, and they're waterproof, which is why I wanted them, because the less expensive one is
30
not
hours
waterproof.
of memory.
Yeah, so you
But
can
you can
you-
upload the numbers to a thing, though, right?
it syncs with your phone.
Because if we're
But-
doing this over a
but
month, we're certainly going to be using more than 30 hours of memory.
when it syncs to your phone,
let me
it
explain.
dumps memory.
So it syncs with your phone, but if you leave your phone like in the gym locker, then it will still record your session, and then once it connects with your phone again, it will upload it to the app.
This sounds serious.
Yeah, I'm telling you, it does, doesn't it? It sounds like when you're talking about chest strap action, I mean, that's a level of technological involvement that is pretty intense.
Well, the thing is that heart rate is a better indicator of overall fitness. So, I mean, technically we could have the sixth member involved because he would have to work harder to get his heart rate in the right zone, but I don't want to.
We've already decided he's disqualified.
Right. He was already booted from the island.
Yeah, he's out. We've already determined that. That seems sure.
It's like Survivor. You got to get rid of the one who you think is going to win first.
Exactly.
So you're getting rid of that dude, and that's good. And when is this starting?
TBD.
Oh, I
the
see.
chest straps arrive on Monday, but we probably won't see Bubba till the next weekend.
I feel like I should know who Joe Rogan is. Is he a comedian?
Yeah, he's a comedian. He's a commentator for the UFC, and he has a podcast.
Okay, because I hear Joe. I knew he was a commentator for the UFC, but I did not know he was a comedian.
I didn't know he was a commentator for the UFC until I had seen a couple of his specials. I always thought he was funny, and then I didn't really give a shit about his podcast either. But my buddy, he just always has cool people on, and my buddy was always listening to him and got me into him. So
I see.
Yeah. So that's and I think that he's doing a good thing if he's motivating people around the world to get into some degree of fitness competition. That's a good thing.
Yeah, he's a health nut.
So riddle me this. And the question is this: how much weight have you lost so far this year? Because just looking at you, it looks like a lot. About 60 pounds?
Yeah.
That's a lot of weight. Well done.
Thanks.
I've found that weight. I've gained 60 pounds this year.
Well,
yeah, I did too.
It's got to go somewhere.
It's got to go somewhere.
I'm also 47. It's a lot hard. You know what? It's good that you're getting in shape now because the older you get, the harder it is. At least in my opinion. That's just my opinion.
Yeah. Well, I've never been in shape in my adult life or really my child life. So, yeah.
Well, I've done it twice, and the struggle is real. I've actually lost. I lost 65 pounds twice now. And now I need to do it for a third time. So,
well, at least you know you can. And that's
I know how to do it. I just won't.
I understand.
I'm your biggest cheerleader. I'm with you. I've been there, and I understand.
Well, this is all, it's all very heartwarming. It really is. So that's good. And it's always good to talk the day after Thanksgiving or the last couple of days after Thanksgiving about losing some weight.
Right. In true American fashion.
Yeah, exactly. Now that we've feasted, let's purge. Okay, so anything else gone on this week? I mean, we've kind of covered a few issues. Elsie, anything?
Part-time podcast participant Noah McCone has been has been accepted into the U.S. Marine Corps to attend boot camp.
Yeah. So
he is doing that.
Yeah, he's going to boot camp on December 3rd.
See, I recently talked to Noah, and he said he didn't think it was going to happen because of a medical issue, I think he said.
Well, he's decided not to disclose that medical issue. I guess it's out there now.
What medical issue was it? His back?
Yeah, he said his back was hurting. So
you can't do that if you want to get into boot camp.
Right.
Well, the Marines don't know. So let's see if he makes it through boot camp. But
did he actually have an issue with his back, or was it just hurting?
Yeah, it was just hurting. I mean, he doesn't really have, it's just, my back's
chronic back issues.
Yeah,
did he ever go to the doctor for it?
No, he didn't go to the doctor.
I
guess we don't know.
But he won't go, right.
Yeah, so
I have a herniated disc in my back. That's an issue.
Yes,
right, that's a medical documented issue.
It is.
Yeah.
You've also broken your neck in several places, haven't you?
No, only one place.
And yet you have such great range of motion.
Yeah, pretty well, almost. Yeah, pretty good, actually. Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's not bad for a broken neck. You're right.
Right. That's pretty impressive.
And I will say that you only get $50,000 for a broken neck, so it's not worth it.
Well, I wasn't contemplating it up to that point. But
well, I didn't do it on purpose, but I thought, while I have a broken neck, I might as well get a payday.
Oh, right.
And so I filed for workman's comp, and the payout for a broken neck happens to be $52,000.
Well, that's interesting because the payout for my death is $400,000 plus $100,000 death gratuity, but it only happens if I'm on active duty.
Well, now that's interesting because I have my policy is it's 7 times my annual wage for accidental death and dismemberment, plus an additional $400 for my life insurance. So I have about $1 million policy.
Wow, you got better insurance than I do.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Oh, I'll be darned. Well, don't die. I mean, the money's not worth it because you'll be dead.
I was watching Forensic Files on Thanksgiving because what better way to end your evening?
Yeah,
and
sounds festive.
There were like 5 episodes where the husbands killed the wife for their life insurance policy. So now that that's out there, watch your back.
Roger that. Tyler's the only one that can kill me, though, because he's the beneficiary.
Oh, got it. Well, you've still got quite a bit of size and weight on him, so I wouldn't worry too much.
Yeah. We'll give it a few more years.
Indoctrination.
Yeah. And my policy clearly isn't valuable enough for Elsie to take my life.
Not yet.
Yeah, well, I'll be...
Sign these papers.
Yeah, right.
Good one.
That explains what I've signed the last few days. Okay, well, anyway, so that's what's going on. Yeah, well, good luck to Noah as he heads off to boot camp. Very exciting, and I hope he graduates, and that'll be fun. Invitation right now to everybody in the family to come to Noah's graduation, which will be in March.
Very
if
good.
Indeed that happens. So more to follow on that.
Unless his undisclosed back issue gets him kicked out.
Yeah, unless his back issue is a real thing and he can't hack the gear.
You make it sound like it's definitely not a real thing.
No, I don't know.
My back hurts sometimes. You know, it's not a herniated disc.
Yeah, exactly.
I
mean, without a diagnosis, we don't
certainly
know.
live. Well, whatever, doesn't matter. Anyway,
but at what cost?
I'm not trying to make light of it, certainly, if that's what you're implying.
Let's get him on the horn and diagose his issue.
Remotely.
Explain to me with your words where it hurts and why, and we're gonna give you a proper
medical
diagnosis.
Right. Start with this pain chart. Where does it hurt? And what smiley face? What level of smiley or frowny face would you have for this?
And then he'll go to WebMD and find out he's got cancer.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. If we check out on WebMD, he'll definitely have spine cancer. Best not to check.
Ankylosing spondylitis is my guess.
I don't know what that is, but that sounds pretty good.
Yeah, it's a bad one.
Oh, yeek.
It's basically rheumatoid arthritis of the spine.
Really?
Yeah.
Did you just make that up? Or is that what you have?
No. Mm-mm. It's an actual condition. It's called ankylosing spondylitis.
And do you have it?
I'm convinced I do. My doctor thinks I might be a hypochondriac, but I'm pretty sure that I have it.
I see. Well, I'd say do more of that yoga. It's good for you. Help you stretch, that kind of thing.
Yeah, you ain't kidding.
Time for a new doctor.
Yeah, and also good advice for Noah. I wonder if they do any yoga in Marine boot camp. I'm thinking probably not.
Yeah, I'm
You
almost
gotta do that
certain
on your own
they
time, and where nobody can see you and make fun of you.
They do it on their own time. Yeah, they got a lot of free time down there for yoga and other activities. So I'm sure maybe he'll take it up with that and basket weaving. Yeah, maybe theater arts while he's down there. So anyway.
So in preparation for this fitness challenge we're doing, I also joined a gym.
Oh, really?
Very good.
Yeah, which gym?
I joined the Y for $20 whole until the middle of January.
Oh, it's fantastic.
So can I say something on the subject of fitness here? At the power plant that I worked at, we actually had a gym there. And when I transferred to my new facility, we no longer have a gym, hence the 60-pound weight gain.
I'll tell you, it makes a difference. Really makes a difference.
A huge difference. And I could work out every day at work. I worked out almost every single day.
Yeah.
You should go to HR with that and be like, hey, look, this will save you on health insurance if you just invest.
You know what? I'm currently in a battle right now with a petition with the facilities manager to get a fitness facility out at my work.
Look at you, huh?
Yeah.
You put in the work in already.
That's right. I got a petition going around the office right now for exercise equipment at MDC.
Well,
I think that sounds like a fantastic idea.
Yep, that sounds like something a union steward would do. Well, you are one, so that makes sense. Okay, good. Well, Elsie, you had something to say. I think you should say it.
My recommendation for this gym membership is to sign up for a class, whether it's Zumba or aerobics or cycling or something. The class shame will keep you moving even when you want to die.
Murphy, who is like going all in on this thing, is like, I'm going to do 2 a days. And I was like, when? She's like, oh, the gym opens at 5 and there's all kinds of classes at 5 in the frickin' morning. And I said, good luck. Have fun. I'm not doing that. There's like this body torture class at 5 in the morning where I presume you stand in a line and they throw dodgeballs and otherwise kick and hit you in the ribs and head.
No, I think it's more about exercise being torture, not actually physically torturing you.
You don't know that.
I don't know that at all.
I don't. That's true.
Have you been to said class?
Have you been to body torture class?
Your heart rate will go right up.
Yeah, that's true.
Right, that is true. Like, there is that. I could win if I went to the body torture class, but I'd rather sign up for 6 a.m. yoga.
That's a very good idea. Yoga's great for you.
I actually did yoga for quite some years, and it's very beneficial.
I love yoga.
Yeah, we did it once, and then we bought all the gear and never did it again.
Actually, I don't know if there's Core Power where you guys are at, but here in Denver, Core Power offers free yoga on certain days, and I went for years to yoga for free in Denver. Yep.
Well done.
Thank you.
You're welcome. No, so much for
Not
fitness.
trying to break my own arm, patting myself on the back or anything, but
but
I'm
the fact
stretching.
is,
But I did a good job, if I say so myself.
right, which I am
like
saying,
Sarah said, I'm stretching.
as it were. So anyway, this has all been very interesting, and in fact, I've lost also, between 50 and 60 pounds this year. Elsie's lost about 80 pounds over the last 3 years. So, I mean, weight loss is a thing that can definitely happen and is recommended for maximum health. Moving on.
Your knees will thank you.
Your knees will thank you. Your heart will definitely thank you. And, your longevity will generally increase if you drop a third of your weight.
We're all in concordance on that.
Yeah.
I read an article one time that was comparing the longevity of mice and blue whales. I think I've mentioned this before. Maybe not.
Yeah.
But yeah, that their heart beats the same number of times. Mouse's heart beats so much faster than a blue whale's. So the point is if you lower your resting heart rate, which you do with fitness, presumably you'll live longer.
Of course, the other side of the coin, and I've thought of this many times, is that you do raise your heart rate quite a bit while you are engaged in fitness activities.
Yeah, but duration.
Yeah, look, I'm not one who believes there's an X finite number of heartbeats before your heart croaks. I just think the overall fitness level of your heart and the less fat that it is surrounding it is probably what's good for you.
I believe it has to do with cholesterol.
I believe that.
I believe it's a combination of all those things.
Look at you being a mediator.
Wow. Yeah.
Nicely done. Nicely done.
So shall we move on to current events? There's actually quite a bit to talk about there.
Let's do it.
All right. So just real quick. President Trump has said a whole bunch of crazy shit over the last week, from calling Admiral McRaven basically a loser to basically saying Saudi Arabia is
what has
great...
Admiral McRaven done for us lately?
And who is he?
Well, so McRaven was the guy who was in charge of U.S. Special Operations Command when bin Laden was killed. And, oh, by the way, I happened to be in Afghanistan when bin Laden was killed. And we all said, okay, so war's over, right? We just killed the guy. Let's go home. And then we still stayed, obviously. But the point is that he was responsible for Special Operations Command at the time that bin Laden was killed. And so President Trump basically said, well, would have been great if they killed him sooner. What a loser, said the guy who never went into the service.
I don't think it's possible for you to be the head of Special Force Operations and be a loser.
Well, I don't
think they let losers get that job. You know what I'm
Well,
saying?
I have a question.
Yes.
This is hardly news that President Trump is calling people loser.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, I don't think he used the word loser. I think
he's been doing that since he got in office.
Yeah.
And long before.
True. So
It's his MO.
What I found, okay, what I'd like to I put my 2 cents in this, okay? When you point the finger at somebody else, you have 3 fingers pointing right back at you.
right, and one thumb pointing in an indeterminate direction.
Upward into the sky.
That's for God.
Or
Correct.
you could also point the finger also in the same, you can have it run parallel with your pointer finger if you want to be advanced. That's the advanced technique.
Or you can point with your whole hand.
Or yeah, you
like
just point with your whole
like
hand.
you.
Yeah.
I guess the point I'm trying to make is
Yeah.
people who call other people losers are generally the loser.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true, generally speaking. But it's very extraordinary that he seems to face no backlash for calling these military people. People love the military, generally speaking, but Trump has been able to insult military heroes with impunity and not seem to have it affect his popularity.
They're Trump supporters, bless their blinded little hearts, have complete blinders on to any of his faults. And this goes with everyone, right? Every well, I don't know about every president, but you're always going to have people who are completely inured to any fault that somebody they admire has. It's just been taken to extremes.
There's a term for that, isn't there?
With this presidency.
Well, there is a term for that, and I don't remember what it is.
Is it confirmation? No.
Oh, confirmation bias.
Yeah,
true.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Well, in part. But, I mean, we have a Trump supporter right on the podcast. Guy, you support Trump. I mean, what do you think when he does crazy shit like that? I mean, it doesn't, at the end of the day.
I wouldn't say that I support Trump. I would say that basically like the rest of the population, he's an idiot. However, there are some things I do like that he does. I mean, I think we do need some kind of immigration. We need some things to happen here. And so I'm for some of those things. I'm not for the way that he's handling it.
I mean, I can't remember now. There was something he did that I approved of, and I'm real left.
Well, broken clock is right twice a day.
No, that's a good point right there. So, yeah, and the other thing that he did this week was basically he called out Chief Justice John Roberts, who tried to defend the Ninth Circuit Court after Trump said...
which is generally viewed as a left-leaning court.
Yes, generally viewed that way. But in fact, the statistics show that, of course, the Supreme Court does not take many appeals court decisions from any appeals court, right? It doesn't accept many appeals. Of the appeals that it accepts from the Ninth Circuit Court, actually the Ninth Circuit Court ranks about fourth on the list of courts that are overturned by the Supreme Court. The first Supreme Court, which is headquartered out of Boston, is the top court that is overturned by the Supreme Court. So simply to say that the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals is an Obama circuit, or that a particular judge on that circuit court is an Obama judge, is, while perhaps technically accurate in the sense that Obama appointed that judge, it's not accurate to say that that court is, overturned by the Supreme Court more than any other court. But, accuracy's never been one of this president's strong suits, let's be honest.
Yeah.
Any president, to be honest with you. I mean, Trump is the worst. There's no question about it, but they're all a bunch of liars.
Yeah.
You can't deny that.
No, you can't. What it takes to become the president kind of negates your legitimacy for being a president, to me.
Well,
the kind of campaigning you have to do to become a president, seems
my
like...
point is this. I mean, where was Obama from? Where was he a senator? Illinois?
Yes.
Yeah.
How's Chicago doing?
That's a great question. Chicago's not doing good.
That's a valid point. I mean, what he did was well, I could get into it, but I'm not going to. But I don't think any of them politicians are worth the ground they're stomping on, to be honest with you.
No, they aren't.
I'm going to go ahead and reiterate that I think we should put more scientists into Congress.
More scientists in Congress. Yeah, well, you know what America is doing instead is putting more military people in Congress.
Yeah, that's true.
Also, most scientists tend to be more introverted and don't
tend
to have that
I know it's totally unreasonable. I just want it.
Fair. I feel like in high school, everyone should have to take some sort of aptitude test, not like the ones we have now currently, but something that basically points you in a direction of career or gives you 3 options, says that you have to do one of these 3 things. Because not everybody was meant to be an actor or a playwright or, a news broadcaster. Sometimes you just gotta do the thing that is right for you.
I think in order to be a politician, you should have to take a sociopath test.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
What, and if you're not one, you can't run?
That's right.
That's what we do now. He's suggesting we do it the other way around.
I see.
For a change.
Yeah, well.
Speaking of current events, I got to say, the way the coffee smells on your breath makes it smell like summer sausage. It's pretty good.
Huh, I'll be darned.
Yeah.
Well, that's very current.
Yeah.
I mean, that's happening right now.
Something in my brain is telling me it should be gross, but it smells good to me. Oh. I don't know why.
Thank goodness.
I'm just getting the gross.
Well, no one said my breath was good smelling.
Except me, right now.
Right, thank you. Appreciate that, Nick. Well,
Smells
anyway.
like summer sausage.
Like summer sausage. Reminds me of
You know what?
that's what you're
I
going
think I'm going
for.
to use that on my next date. Yeah, it smells like summer sausage.
Right. Well, the answer is
Tantalizing.
yes. Just split open that summer sausage and rub it all over your body. Be awesome.
And then ask her if she would like some of your summer sausage.
Wow.
Would you like some?
Yeah, that's
You have to say the whole thing.
that's a good way to get arrested. How would you like some of my summer sausage, lady?
Moving right along.
Moving right along. All right, so that's then there's let's see, there was some other outrageous stuff that Trump has said in the last week, but who cares?
Oh, he was thankful when he was pardoning the turkey. He was thankful for all he's done for our country.
Yeah, that's a good one.
I also saw that he
personally.
nominated himself for some prestigious award.
He did. He nominated himself for some prestigious award.
What the hell, man?
What are you talking
He
about?
did.
Who did?
Yeah, they're like, oh, who would you like to nominate for this prestigious award? Well, how about me?
That's true.
There's so much audacity in everything he does. Like, how much outrage can you really express
He's
before
not really
you
the
just
same
wave your
kind of.
arms?
He's not
like-
the same kind of person that we are. You know what I mean? Now, let's think about this for a second. This dude he really doesn't know what it's like to be a normal person. He never has. You know what I mean? He's always been really rich, and he's always been able to get. You know, when you're rich, you get what you want. Most of the time, you get off doing things that normal people can't do. Like, so, not saying that excuses it, but I'm saying the way he acts sometimes, it's like you gotta realize that this dude isn't like a person in the way that we categorize people amongst ourselves.
I think he did exactly. He accomplished exactly what he set out to do, which is make the American presidency a reality show.
Yeah, you're right.
I think there's a lot of truth to that.
It's so fun to see what's going to happen next.
That's exactly what it is. He made the American presidency a reality show. In my opinion. I mean, that's just my opinion.
Well, I hope it all doesn't end in global thermonuclear war. That'd be a surprise twist, though, wouldn't it?
Listen, the world's going to turn itself inside out here in about 35 years anyway, so what's the point?
Inside out? Do you mean literally?
Yeah, because that would be weird, having all the lava on the outside, the hot metal core on the outside of the Earth and all the green stuff on the inside. Do you mean that, or?
Yeah, it's going to be a journey to the center of the Earth type situation. We're all going to go underground.
All right, I'm into that.
Awesome, but in the meantime, I think we should nominate this administration for an Emmy.
Yeah.
Well, that's a great idea. It really is. Okay. In what category, though?
Reality?
Reality TV.
Comedy.
I don't know the Emmy categories.
But I think to Sarah's point, and I was reading this week, the generation. So Nick and Sarah have just missed this generation because they are millennials, but Noah and Brad are members of the next generation, which is only 52% white in this country. And I think that is getting to what Sarah's talking about, because by the time they're all voting, there will be a dramatic shift in this country in the direction it takes, potentially.
Well, there's a lot of talk about the demographic shift, but at the end of the day, you still have to have people registered, and it's going to be a long time before there's an actual shift in terms of power base in this country.
So
I'm
you're
curious
saying
as
we
to
should,
what the generation
continue to
is
engage in
called
voter suppression?
beyond the
Gen Z.
millennials.
Generation Z.
Is that what it's called?
Yep.
Oh, all right.
So Generation X, which I am, right?
Yes,
Yep.
you're Gen X. I'm on the border.
Okay, to millennials or what?
Yep. Gen Y / millennials.
He's on the border of baby boomers, this guy.
Yeah, well, that's true, but we're not talking about that. We're trying to figure out which generation is what. There's been a whole bunch of research on it. I don't think it
There
matters.
goes baby boomers, X, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
And then Y, naturally.
Which
Yeah.
is millennials now.
Y,
And
yeah,
then
Generation
Z
Y is also millennials.
Millennials, and now we got Z.
Okay.
What comes after Z? A?
We go back around. We circle back around to A.
Yeah.
Okay, just get. I'm just.
Or we might move into the number
Preparing.
system.
Yeah. Well, we've had the greatest generation. I'm looking for the grapest generation.
Well, whatever that next generation is going to have to deal with our thoughtlessness in terms of
A lot of
climate
damn
change.
mess.
Yeah.
Well, but
We all got to do that. We all have to deal with the economy that the people who brought us into the world left us.
Well, hang on
Yes.
for a second now. So let's just say, for the sake of argument, that I live for another 40 years. It's unlikely, but let's say that happens. I also have to deal with the consequences of what we're unleashing right now. So to say, hey, it's the younger generation that has to deal with this, not true. I mean,
No, not
No.
true. But for longer, yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
and you probably
Pete,
won't be out
It's your fault
digging up the
specifically.
earth.
You did this, Dad. Now fix it now.
I think that's fair. I accept that responsibility.
And this current generation may
review movies. I gotta do.
What's that? What's that, Nick?
I said, when are we going to review movies?
Oh, well, we're getting right to it. Yeah, we've
Have you seen any good ones?
Yeah, let's go to popular culture.
Because I was just
now.
saying that I have not seen any. Well, yeah, I haven't. There were no good movies to go see, in my opinion, unless you found a gem.
No, I didn't. But I did go see Fantastic Beasts 2: The Crimes of Grindelwald.
And you saw the first one,
did you
right?
love it or hate it?
Let me go ahead and give you my review. Okay, I thought Johnny Depp's performance was lackluster at best.
Okay.
Eddie Redmayne's character was autistic, apparently. And the movie itself was disappointing.
Okay, so overall disappointing experience, poor performance from Johnny Depp. What can you expect? The guy's spending $500,000 a day on crack, and then
$500,000 a month on wine, I believe, is what the thing is.
Official take
$500,000 a day on crack. You got probably a day. Yeah, you can do that one time.
Well, whatever. Look, let's not get ourselves all wrapped around the facts. The point is that he's dissolute.
He does look like shit.
Yeah,
we've said that.
Yeah, it was like I said, his performance was lackluster at best. Eddie Redmayne, like I said, it was almost like his character was autistic. And
it absolutely was, yeah.
And the movie was slow. And
yeah.
I don't know. Is there a book? Is there a Fantastic Beasts 2 book? Because I think I would have had to read the book to make the movie make sense.
No, there's no
this
book.
Is exploitative tides.
Yeah,
this is Harry Potter: The Crimes of Exploitation.
Yeah,
that's the perfect title.
Yes. So really,
exploitation of Grindelwald.
Yeah. So
they got me for $50, and I want it back.
Jesus.
Yeah, that's fair. I'll just say this: that basically what the Crimes of Grindelwald is, or Grindelwald, or Fitz and Hammer. Look, the point is that this is basically an episode. It's a few pages of dialogue and text in one of the Harry Potter books. It's exposition explaining kind of where Dumbledore came from. And so they've taken that, combined with a book that has nothing to do with that, which is basically the bestiary for the Harry Potter worlds, and they've combined that.
I just read that book, Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them. That book, and it's like 50 pages long.
Yeah, and it's just a bestiary. Yeah. That's all it is.
It's a list.
Yeah, it's a list of. And so they combined this bestiary with this dialogue about where Dumbledore came from, and turned it into these two movies, which are neither one of them were frankly fantastic movies, even though both of them had fantastic in the title. That was a misnomer.
Sorry, I don't know my Potter lore.
Yeah, well, The Crimes of Grindelwald, I mean, the Harry Potter movies did what they did best and turned a fun, lighthearted thing into a dark, shambling mess.
Fair enough. So none of us are going to go see that at all.
Yeah, skip it.
Too late. I already went and saw it.
Well, sorry.
You took one for the team.
Now, what you could see for no money... What's that?
I'm going to give a shout out to AMC Theaters, and it was 90 degrees in the theater, and I had to leave 4 or 5 times because it was so hot in there. Jesus. And then they left the lights on the entire time, and it was $15 for a bucket of popcorn.
But otherwise, how was the
movie? Yeah, no shit.
So, Sarah, what did you say?
I said you got hosed, and also this is why I only do the $5 movies on Tuesday.
What she said was, next time you may want to bring a bottle of Vaseline.
Right. Yeah, exactly what I said.
Right, for the ass raping.
Go ahead and just walk in with your pants off already, if you like your pants.
And then assume the position.
And get into the 3-point stance and clench your
teeth. To the ready room, number 1. Pants down.
All right, so speaking of Patrick Stewart, I've heard that The Green Room is supposedly a very good film. It's going to be on Netflix.
Watched it.
You did watch it.
I did watch it, yep.
That contains Patrick Stewart, does it not?
It does, yeah.
And he plays like a Nazi skinhead gang leader, doesn't he?
What?
Yeah. I don't want to give too much of it away, but I mean, I wouldn't waste my time watching it.
Okay, fair enough. We won't do that. Do not waste your time watching The Green Room. But I'll tell you something you should waste your time watching. The Ballad of Buster Scruggs.
Yeah, good movie.
Okay, I saw that on there. I was thinking about giving that a look.
Yeah.
I'll check that out.
I have to admit, I slept through most of it, but I didn't really like what I saw. Sorry.
Okay, so that's an opinion of someone who slept through most of it.
That's yeah. A lot of singing in it.
Yeah.
Is it a
amount.
miniseries? Is that what I was getting?
No,
at?
it's a movie comprised of 6 short stories.
Yeah, and each of the stories is separate. They're not related in any way, other than that they all take place supposedly in the American West.
Who directed it?
Coen brothers.
Joel and Ethan Coen.
Okay,
Who also,
that's what I thought.
Yeah, I mean, so it's got your typical Coen brothers violence, and also
So it's the Bourne Ultimatum in the Old West.
No, not at all.
Not at all.
No, not even close. They didn't do the Bourne Ultimatum.
Didn't they?
No. I don't know who
Oh,
did the
whoa.
Bourne Ultimatum, but it was definitely not the Coen brothers.
So what have they done?
What's that?
What have they done?
The Joel
Oh,
and
brother, where art thou?
Oh, okay. I'm confused.
yeah, Fargo, No Country for Old Men, for which
I've
they
never
won
seen
an
any
Oscar.
of that.
What's that?
What,
I haven't
dude?
seen any
What
of
the
that.
fuck? You've got to see all of those.
Raising Arizona, Blood Simple, all of those are Coen brother films.
Raising Arizona is
brother,
a
we're
classic.
out there?
Must see.
Is that a Coen Brothers?
What-
Yeah. Oh, brother, where art thou? It is. I can't believe you've never seen that one, Sarah.
That was a good one.
George Clooney, other people, John Goodman, other people.
Anyway, there's a whole bunch of people in it.
Yeah.
Okay, very good. Well, so neither of you are familiar with the body of work that the Coen brothers have done, but they're Oscar-winning directors and filmmakers.
I
Another
thought
one.
they did the Bourne series.
No, they did not do that. But I'll tell you
Who
what.
did that?
Shit, I don't know.
Maybe you pull that up.
Many people. I mean, there's been a number of Bourne movies that have been done by a number of
Oh,
people.
I'm thinking of maybe Peter Greengrass.
Okay, sure. I'll buy that. That's entirely possible. I'm not really familiar with Peter Greengrass.
Our
Me
typical
either,
fact
obviously.
checker vis-a-vis Google, Nick here, is without Google at the moment, much to our sadness.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true. That's true.
No problem.
Yeah, Paul Greengrass directed, and Tony Gilroy and Doug Lyman.
Paul Greengrass. That's his name.
Okay, yeah, he's done a few things. Didn't he do some of the Taken movies too?
Yeah, maybe.
Please hold.
Please hold. All right. So anyway, the point is that The Ballad of Buster Scruggs, it's worth a watch.
I'll give it a look.
If you like
22 July, whatever that is.
what?
1993.
Promised
Green
Land.
Zone.
I believe he directed Promised Land.
Look, none of us really care about Paul Greengrass, do we? I mean, I don't know. Maybe we do.
I don't know. I don't really do directors.
All right, then.
I don't know.
Yeah, I
I could watch the movies.
I know directors are the magic behind it all, but I don't really give a shit about any of them.
All right, so we're going to just gloss over the directors, but suffice it to say, The Ballad of Buster Scruggs, definitely worth watching. The other thing that we're watching here at the house is Castlevania, upon Nick's recommendation. I don't think I like it as well as Nick does. I like it, but Nick, you thought it was, you think it's probably the best
pretty
cartoon
good.
you've ever
Well,
seen.
dude, man, the end of the second season is fucking crazy. It is fucking crazy. Like,
I'm not there yet.
See,
So don't
I'm not
you
going to
spoil
spoil
it
it.
for
I'm
me.
not going to spoil it. But the first season's good. They set it up. It's only 4 episodes. And then the second season, they have double the episodes. So it's 8 episodes. So they got a little more time to build up the different stories and shit, the different ways things can go wrong. How far into the second season are you?
They just decided
Half
to
an
go to
episode?
the library, and the lady vampire showed up.
Okay, so you're not even halfway through the second series then.
No, I'm like on episode 2 or 3 or
Yeah,
something.
dude, but the final confrontation, the season finale of season 2, fucking crazy.
It's off the chain.
And plus that scene we watched it last night when all the vampires come into town and just slaughter all those people. You remember that? That was
Yeah.
fucking cool.
Well, all right, fair enough.
But
Yeah,
if that's not your cup of tea, then it ain't your cup of tea. However, if you do like violence, I would suggest you watch that show.
yeah.
I'll give it a
Yeah,
look.
there's a lot of
I had a
violence.
question for you, Nick. Did you ever end up watching that series on
Animal
Prime?
Kingdom?
Yeah, what did you think of that?
That was good. I only watched 2 episodes, but it was real good. I don't have Amazon Prime, so.
Oh, I see.
Oh yeah. Speaking of Amazon Prime, I
You want me
did
to get
mention.
my login?
What, you do have that?
Yeah.
Yes. Yes, I would appreciate that very much.
Well, remind me.
How many people can log into Amazon Prime at a time?
I don't know.
Prime at a time.
I don't
But
know.
we don't watch TV at the same time, so.
So you think until you want to,
We
and
don't.
Well,
then
and then, but then I get seniority on account of being older and also paying for it.
well, that's true.
But we have never, ever once had conflicting TV schedules.
Well, thank
Yeah.
goodness. That's good. So if you do get onto Amazon Prime, I do recommend Homecoming. Homecoming is the Julia Roberts.
Flick.
Did I recommend it already?
Yes.
You have.
Well, then I'll back off.
Yeah, you never recommended it to me. I'll give it a look.
Yeah. Homecoming with Julia Roberts.
I had to watch another movie. I watched Night Moves, which is old. I also like to watch an old movie. I watch all the new stuff, but I like to throw an old one in there. It's got Melanie Griffith was in it, Gene Hackman. It's a classic old movie. I'm sure you've seen it, Pete.
You would think so, wouldn't you? But I only saw word of it. I never actually saw the movie.
Oh, it's well, if you like those kind of old movies, it's all right.
That's a great recommendation. All right, fantastic. Well, it's got Gene Hackman. You can't hardly go wrong.
Melanie Griffith gets completely nude, so that's
something
good.
That's some incentive.
Right. Well, yeah. Melanie Griffith, circa 1988, I guess, right?
No, 1979. In fact, she was only, I think, 16 or 17 at the time when she did the movie, so it was a pretty controversial movie.
Ooh.
So super inappropriate, in other words.
Well, yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
Well, thanks.
But it was, it was interesting to see because basically, I think nowadays they would consider that child pornography.
Yeah, no question
certainly
about
would. Many people would be going to prison.
Yeah.
But apparently, which kind of baffles me because they still play. I mean, you can still watch the movie on Amazon Prime.
Right.
You can see Brooke Shields in what's that one movie she was in?
Yeah, the Brooke Shields movie where they were on that island.
The Blue
Lagoon.
Lagoon.
Why don't those movies get reclassified? Is that what we're saying?
Yes.
Well, because now they're all older.
Well, she was still naked as a jaybird in it.
Right.
Well, so here's the thing, right? So here's why those movies don't get reclassified, by the way. Because the actors who are now in their 40s and 50s, they still make money on those things. So, yes, they've been exploited once, but why not continue to make money off the exploitation?
Well, especially considering that as a woman in Hollywood, it's hard to get any acting roles after the age of 40. You've got to let these older ladies who you've exploited in their youth continue to make money.
I think that's fair. I think that's perfectly fair.
Moving on. So much for popular culture. Anybody listen to anything new this week? I have not. I really have not listened to. Oh, well, actually, I mentioned Lisa LeBlanc, didn't I?
Yes.
All right.
LeBlanc.
Yeah, I guess I mentioned that. So, man, I'll tell you what, it's hard to be old because you keep just repeating the same shit over and over.
It's not an old thing. I do it too.
Okay, good.
Is it? What kind of music is it?
Oh, yeah. Well, she's a Canadian banjo player who plays basically hard metal.
That sounds interesting.
It's like bluegrass, hard metal, grunge, all had a baby.
It's on my list of things.
I heard Dad play it, Sarah. It's right up your alley.
Okay, there you go. Up Sarah's alley. That's the definition of good music.
Yeah, I haven't listened to anything new, but again, I would like to re-recommend Greta Van Fleet.
Okay, you've re-recommended her. Thank you, Greta Van Fleet.
It's not a her. It's a band.
We had that conversation.
I'm pretty sure there are no women in the band.
Yeah,
I like Karen Ann.
Who's Karen Ann?
She's a French artist.
Really?
Yeah.
What's she sing?
Well, a bunch of shit in French.
That sounds soothing.
It's pleasant to listen to.
It is. It actually is very relaxing.
All right. Well, okay.
But speaking of female rockers and bands with female rockers' names that don't have females in them, I'll make a recommendation on Brad Hamilton's behalf that he loves a band called Dorothy, which is a hard metal band with a female lead singer. It's pretty darn good.
Is it a reference to The Wizard of Oz?
I think it must be. Yeah, Dorothy. Why not?
It's the only logical explanation.
Sure.
I mean, what other Dorothys are there that are famous?
I think there is a Dorothy film that doesn't have anything to do with Wizard of Oz, but I'm also just pulling that out of a passing fancy, so I could be talking.
They should do a tour and have Toto open for them. Am I right?
They should. That's a good point.
That would be good.
Yeah, Toto and
Kansas
Dorothy
could be there too.
Yeah, Toto. That's right. Right. Well, perhaps. Yeah, could it be Toto opening for Dorothy, who's opening for Kansas? I'm not sure.
I mean, just as far as seniority goes, that would make the most sense.
Mm-hmm.
Well, no,
but it would make the most sense for Toto and Dorothy to come after Kansas.
True.
Because they're coming out of Kansas.
True.
After a quick Wikipedia, it turns out that the vocalist's name is Dorothy. So I think she named the band after herself.
Oh, that makes sense. Okay.
Well, never mind.
She, in turn, was named after the Wizard of Oz. Let's just go.
Maybe the tradition continues.
I don't know. We need to get her on the pod and just ask her the question.
How do we go about getting celebrity guests on this?
Dorothy, if you're listening, we'd love to have you. So go ahead and get in contact with us, and we'll arrange for it.
Right, that sounds good. We can have her show up at Ziff's, fine dining establishment in Invercargill, New Zealand, who of course sponsors the pod.
And we won't be there, but
no, we
or
won't.
maybe we will. Maybe we'll make a family trip
To Ziff's at Invercargill.
to meet with Dorothy, so she can answer our question.
About Kansas.
Yes, and
Toto.
yeah, and so on. All right, well, good. So Dorothy's a recommendation. Greta Van Fleet is a recommendation. Nancy Ann is a recommendation.
Karen Ann,
yeah.
Karen Ann, sorry, Nancy Ann.
Jesus Christ.
Sorry, I made a
Jesus
mistake.
Christ is also a recommendation.
Right.
He's got a couple of
I
hot
recommended
mixtapes
that.
out right now. You can get on Nazareth.com for free.
Right. Dropping the ones and twos. Anyway, so yeah, that's
His hit new single, The 10 Commandments.
no, that's more of a. I thought that was Moses
That's
did that.
The
classic.
Beatitude rap. Pretty
Yeah.
hot.
That's his remix then. His remix is The 10 Commandments, formerly put out there by Moses.
Right. Moses, the OG.
Moses
OG
goes
Moses.
straight this.
OG Mo.
MC OG Mo.
Well, that's terrific.
Okay.
All right, moving on. And
That's enough blasphemy for one day. Thank you.
So let's wrap it up with sports. And anyway, so a lot of football games. So I'm just going to say this about the NFL. Now, Guy, you for years have said the NFL is totally rigged. After the 54-51 touchdown fest that was Monday Night Football, lots of people excited about that game. I personally feel like it's the end of football as I've ever known it. I mean, these defenders can't hit. It's not fun to watch.
Yeah, agreed.
Well,
Hasn't been for a long time. They changed the rules basically to the point where it's just an offensive game.
Agreed. Yeah. So, I mean, it's kind of like watching flag football at a certain point. And I used to like to watch it for the violence and the hits. I'm sorry. That's why I watched it.
Hockey's not too bad. I mean,
What
they
about
changed that a lot too, but
That's why I suggested, Dad said that to me. He watches it for the hits, which everyone does. That's why I suggested getting into the UFC.
Yeah, that's true. You did suggest
That's
that.
all the violence you can possibly take.
And more.
And more.
Oh, yeah.
It don't stop.
It doesn't stop at all. So anyway, anybody got a UFC update this week?
Who's fighting this week? Today?
Francis Ngannou and
Ooh, Curtis Blades. Oh, I want to watch that. I'm watching that at your house.
Yeah.
You're doing that, right?
I think we're going down to Bubba's, but yes.
Oh, hell yeah. I like Curtis Blades because I keep running into him at UFC things. I had a picture with him on my phone. It's gone now, but
Did you upload it?
then it doesn't exist.
don't exist no mo. Well, no, I didn't upload. I don't
Yeah,
don't-
you don't
He
do
doesn't
that cloud.
do that.
I don't do the cloud
He doesn't
thing.
believe in Facebook.
Well,
No.
you don't have to put it on Facebook. You could just put it on Google Photos.
But it
dude.
might be on my Snapchat memories. I did put it on my Snapchat story.
Oh,
Well,
there you
see,
go.
I took a picture of a 14-foot alligator in Florida, and because I didn't show it to my friend, it doesn't exist. So,
That's how it works. Pixar didn't happen.
Yep, Pixar didn't happen. Anyway, I like Curtis Blades. Even before I ran into him at UFC, I mean, that's why I got the picture with him, because I liked him. But he's fighting Francis Ngannou, who is a big, bad motherfucker. And
Yeah, but last time they fought, it was so boring.
they fought before?
Was it just Ngannou and some other big bad guy?
I don't
Wasn't
know.
that the
I
fight where they
didn't know
they
Curtis
only
Blades.
exchanged like 5 significant strikes?
I don't. Look it up. Look it up.
Ah!
So we don't
Why
really
don't you?
know is the answer to that question. So
Well, yeah. Well, Curtis Blades doesn't fight like that.
doesn't fight like what?
Boring.
Oh, I see.
He slices people open.
He's an action.
Curtis
That's why it was so.
He's an action fighter. Classic action fighter.
Well, so, I don't know. I don't know. Is
So,
the answer.
There is.
But who else is on that card? Is that the main event?
Yeah.
Okay, so while you're looking that up, I'm just going to share that UFC does have a dark side. And the dark side reared its ugly head again this week when I forget the female fighter's name, but she had her orbital socket broken by her fiance, also a professional fighter. This is not the first incident of domestic violence in the UFC.
No,
I did
it's
see
not.
that, and she was scheduled to fight Paige Van Zant and had to cancel her fight because of the broken orbital bone.
Yeah. Yeah, he's getting charged with attempted murder, I do believe.
Yeah.
Yeah,
he is.
rightly so.
In Hawaii.
Yeah,
Was-
and who was that fighter's name? Do we remember who just got her orbital
No,
bone broken?
not off the top of my head.
Well, anyway,
It was in my news feed.
condolences to her, though. I mean, good grief.
And that's
no one
also
deserves
happened.
that.
Well, that's not really a dark side of the UFC. I mean,
What do you mean it's not really
So
a dark side?
that didn't happen in the cage, did it?
Well, so
With referees or
But
I think the
it's
point is these
tangential.
highly violent sports tend to create highly violent people, or vice versa. who's
Well,
to
these
say?
violent
so
people-
just don't date a violent sport person, and you should be all right.
yeah.
Stay away from War Machine if you can.
Yeah. Step one. Step two is these people were going to be violent whether or not they were in the UFC. The UFC is just a good way for them to legally beat
No,
people's
I
asses.
think that it shows that. I mean, too many blows to the head can make you violent. I think it's that.
That's
too many,
like proven.
yeah,
Well,
too
that's
many
true,
concussions, that type of thing can cause. Look at Aaron Hernandez. He had some kind of CMI or some shit like that.
CTE, but still.
Well, he was gang related before that.
Well,
I'm
point
just saying. I agree with you, Nick. Violent people tend to have a tendency to be violent, but I think severe blows to the head don't help it.
Well, that's another reason why I advocate bare knuckle fighting. When you fight with your bare hands, there's not as many head injuries because you're going to break your hands on someone's head.
I think they should just fight to the death.
That's fair.
That's fair, too.
Head injury's not a thing then.
I don't know what that guy's name is, but I do know that he's getting charged with attempted murder. Also, apparently, Nicholas, the Nagano and Blades fight happened at 5:00 in the morning this morning in China.
What the
We missed
fuck?
it.
Well,
We missed it.
that's okay. I mean, who's going to be up at 5 o'clock in the
All right,
morning
who
to
won?
watch that fight?
Tell me who
I
won.
want me
prefer
to
to
tell
watch
you?
it on YouTube anyway.
Tell me who won.
Nagano won by TKO.
Knocked him out. Wow.
Mm-hmm.
In
Nagano
what round?
knocked Blades out.
In what round?
Please hold.
It doesn't say it right there. TKO in the what round?
Ought to. I mean, surely you can see the whole thing on YouTube as Guy suggests.
Round one.
Round one. Well, that's the thing
Wow.
about Francis Ngannou is he knocks people the
Francis
fuck out.
Ngannou defeats Curtis Blades via TKO at 44 seconds of round one.
Holy
So
shit.
it's a Ronda Rousey fight.
Yeah, 43 seconds. Holy cow.
Francis Ngannou did contend for the championship, for the title. He fought Stipe Miocic and was going, if he won, he was going to be the heavyweight champion of the world. But Stipe Miocic knocked him the fuck out. But everybody was Francis Ngannou was a sensation. This dude is just, what did he do? He dug sand in Africa since he was born until he was 30. So this dude is just a gigantic human being, and he knocks people out. Knocks them out cold.
And he obviously knocked Curtis Blades out cold.
That's
So
unfortunate.
So,
Yeah.
are we making a correlation between digging sand your whole life and being a big dude?
No, digging sand's not necessary. He could have been working in a mine of some sort.
So am I to understand that he's actually a sand digger?
wow, I don't know where you're going with that, but it's best just to back away from it right away.
We can edit that out, right?
No, we're leaving it because it's a fact. He did dig sand, apparently.
No, it ain't a fact. I said I don't know.
And
All
then
right?
apparently made him huge.
Yeah.
Made him yoked. Or he could. I think he might have worked in in a
he did go
asbestos.
night-night.
Okay.
Blades said he wasn't happy with it, but his face hit the mat face first. So, I mean, he got up pretty quickly, but.
Oh, I see. So it might have been premature. Who was reffing?
Matthew Goddard.
Oh, I see. So it wasn't if they live, they live. What's his name?
Mario.
Yeah, Yakazawa or whatever his
I
name
like
is.
that guy.
Mario, if they die, they die. Yamakasi.
Yeah,
Yamakaze.
wasn't him.
Kamikaze might be more appropriate.
Kamikaze, indeed.
Well,
Well,
you know what? I might have to sign off the podcast with all these horrible jokes I'm making.
no, not at all. It's fine. You're doing fine. You're doing fine. Hang in there. All right. So anyway, so much for UFC. We found out that Curtis Blades got his ass whipped by that other guy.
Well, he didn't get his
Francis
ass.
Ngannou.
He didn't get his ass whooped. He got knocked the fuck out.
I'm sorry.
You're asking what's the difference?
Yes,
is that what you're
I
asking?
am.
An ass whooping is when you avoid getting knocked out, but you still get.
Beat to
You
shit.
still lose.
It's when someone makes you look like an amateur for however many rounds. Was that the main event, Sarah?
What's
Yes,
the
it was.
difference between getting your ass handed to you?
Okay, let me give you an example, okay? So there's this fight between Daniel Cormier and Derek Lewis, all right?
I feel like we should Urban Dictionary this.
Well, I'm just saying, like, you can hit you can get the miracle knockout punch. Anybody can fucking, and 1 in a billion get the miracle knock. That doesn't necessarily take skill. But when you're picking someone up, throwing them around, getting on top of them on the ground, mauling them, elbowing them, you let them get back up, you take them back down for points. That's handing someone's ass to them. That's treating them like they're an amateur. That's dragging it out so that you can beat their ass instead of knocking them out. When you knock someone out, it's over in a second. When you drag it out throughout the seconds. Yeah, well, when you drag it out throughout the entirety of the match, it just shows how much of a better fighter you are than them. That's why Daniel Cormier, he tooled on Derek Lewis. Derek Lewis was a knockout artist. He was just knocking people the fuck out, as the name suggests. But when he got in the ring with Daniel Cormier, what he did was take him down over and over again. Hit him in the face, take him down, hit him in the face. Now, what does that make Derek Lewis look like? That makes him look like an amateur. Yeah. It makes him look like he just cannot stand up to Daniel Cormier, which he didn't. Now, if Daniel Cormier just came in there and knocked him the fuck out in the first second of the first round, does that necessarily take skill?
Yes, I think it does.
You think it takes as much skill as it does to throw a 250-pound man around like a child?
Well, I think that it could. It depends.
All right. I can squash this beef.
We're just going to have to agree to disagree here. I think if you hit someone in the face and knock them out in 1 second, that takes that takes strength is what it takes. But to throw another professional fighter around a cage like a child takes skill.
Okay, well, I think both of them take skill. But what I hear you saying is that an ass beating can take place, and at the end of it, then a knockout can occur. But a knockout can occur without an ass beating.
Yeah, they're not the same thing. They're definitely not the same thing.
I would like to see a Venn diagram of this, please.
Yes, a Venn diagram would be very helpful to see the intersection.
I have the top definition for Urban Dictionary, if you'd like to hear it.
A top definition of what?
For knock the fuck out.
Okay, all right, let's hear it.
When a person is so annoying that they get you really mad, and the only way to stop them doing what they are doing is to give them a single powerful punch to the face, which knocks them unconscious. They are now said to be knocked the fuck out.
I see.
This is only achieved if is a single punch which knocks them unconscious.
I see. Well, so very soon I might get knocked the fuck out by either Elsie or Nick, because we're all standing in this sound booth, and I'm annoying.
Look, once you watch a few fights, you start watching a lot of fights, then you'll be able to see what I'm saying here.
I get you. I do. I understand what you're saying. But I still think it takes a great deal of skill to knock somebody out in 43 seconds, or a great deal of luck.
Well, yeah, but yeah.
One of the two.
That's the thing. It's like you can get lucky and knock someone out. You can't get lucky by throwing, like you can't just get lucky and be able to throw someone around. That just means you're better than them by leagues.
Yeah, I
agree.
Anyone
can throw. You can get lucky and get matched up with somebody whose defense is just terrible.
Or their takedown defense is not good. They don't have wrestling, and therefore you've got if you're just a knockout artist, then you just throw bombs to the head. That's what you do. Okay, it takes skill, I guess, to throw bombs to the head at somebody, but it takes more skill to avoid those and then grab your legs and then take you to the ground and hit you in the face and slice your face open with your elbows and let you get back up and do it again.
Definition for ass-handed.
Okay, good. Let's hear this. Yeah.
When someone gets completely smoked or destroyed, they say they got their asses handed to them.
Yeah, so we agree. I think we're all saying the same thing.
Daniel Cormier rolled Derek Lewis up and smoked him.
I think the co-main event was Alistair Overeem and Sergey Pavlovich.
Yeah. Wow, I didn't know Alistair Overeem was
fighting.
Did he lose?
I don't know.
Well, guys, I got to sign out here. My battery's about to die.
All right. Well, Guy, good to talk to you. Happy Thanksgiving weekend, and probably time to wrap it up anyway. So why don't we just
guys have a happy Thanksgiving? Love you guys. Bye.
Bye.
Love you guys.
All right, that's it then. Well. So much for another edition. Well, until we can find out, if Sarah can find out who won, then we'll go from there. We got Brad lurking in the background, too. Brad, you want to say hi? Just stick your head and say hi real quick.
Why, hello there.
Oh, thank you, Brad.
God, that feels good. Well, say hi, some
I
more.
know,
Say
right?
hi.
Just
It is.
start the pod
It is
from scratch.
boilingly hot in here.
It is so miserable.
You know what, though? This is the price we pay for audio excellence.
I keep
really
opening
is.
the door to get some fresh air, and Peter keeps shutting it on me.
Yeah, because it's pretty. It gets a lot louder when
We're
the door
in the
doesn't sound.
punishment room right now.
It's a sweat lodge. I mean, we're having a vision quest. I think that's fair. Do you have an answer on the outcome of that fight, Sarah?
Yeah, Overeem won.
Overeem won. Okay, good for him.
I think he got a knockout. There's a video. Let me go ahead.
Overeem is one of those guys who's been knocked out really by Francis Ngannou. Actually, this is an interesting tidbit. Alistair Overeem fought Francis Ngannou, and Francis Ngannou knocked him out so hard that he said when he woke up, his five senses, he didn't have them. Like he couldn't see, smell, taste, or hear anything.
Wow. That's bad knockout when you lose your senses.
Yeah.
That's extraordinary.
Yeah,
Really
so those guys who get knocked out like that over and over again,
got a TKO.
they start to lose more. Your reflexes get slowed down and shit. A part of you stays in the shadow realm when you get banished there.
Ooh, yeah. Well, that sounds bad.
I like that.
Yeah. Well, so point is, if you aren't satisfied with the level of violence in the NFL, head on over to UFC.
Oh, there's violence for you.
Aplenty. Okay, so Overeem won in TKO in what round? Great. Okay. We don't know.
Are you ignoring us?
No, I don't know.
All right. That's
Doesn't
fine.
matter.
Overeem won.
So I think I'm going to dip because it's hot as balls and I don't care at all about the UFC.
Okay.
So you all enjoy the rest of your
No,
UFC
we're
discussion?
done. We're done.
No,
No, the podcast is over. It's over. I'm telling you. It's over. Sarah, anything else?
It's over now. What's the song?
No.
Okay. Well, thanks for joining us. Appreciate it. Thanks, Sarah. Thanks to Guy. Thanks to Nick. Thanks to Elsie. Thanks to everybody. Happy Thanksgiving weekend. We'll see you next week. A special Thanksgiving Shinn Show. A special Thanksgiving Shinn Show. A special Thanksgiving Shinn Show.
He's not going to want to use these.
So you know how I said I was going to record our screen?
Yeah.
I thought I was doing that, but I wasn't.
Oh, that's okay. I'm recording. Anyway, all right, shut the door and I'll do my thing, which is...
I don't know how to stop recording.
Don't worry about it. Just shut the door. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. A Shinn Show is a production of Shinfluence and features the voices and opinions of the Shinn family, which are entirely their own. It's brought to you by Ziff's, a fine dining establishment in Invercargill, New Zealand. Join us next week as we have another episode of A Shinn Show. It's available on Google Play Music, Spotify, iTunes, and wherever you get your podcasts.